Hello and welcome to Total Health with Dr. Nick. And if you're new to my channel, my purpose is very simple, and that is to do my best to inspire, empower, and motivate you to live longer, healthier, and more abundant lives. And today's video is all about omega-9 fats. And this is the first part of a three-part series. We're going to talk about omega-9 fats, and I bet you didn't even know there was omega-9 fats. Talk about omega-6 fats and omega-3 fats. So those are coming down the pike, so you want to keep an eye out for that. So really, what are all these fats about? Before we get started, I want to say one thing. Make sure, if you're interested in keto, you check out my keto course. I guarantee you it is the best keto course on the market. And see if it's a fit for you. There'll be a link down below, and you can see about getting in the best shape of your life. And if you're really, like I said, interested in keto and looking for a little bit more help. Other than that, just watch my videos. There's plenty of information on that. Well, getting back to this, like I said, omega-9 fats, you might not even know there was omega-9 fats, but there are. So we'll be talking about that today. We're going to talk about what are they. We're going to talk about their benefits, and make sure you watch to the end, because that's what I'm going to talk about. Really, what are the sources? Where do you find these kind of fats? So, as always, if you like what we're talking about, make sure you like, you share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you click that little bell notification so that you get notified every single time I come on with a video and you don't miss a single thing. Anyway, getting back to this now, what are omega-9 fats? Well, omega-9 fats, first of all, how do you even determine what is omega-9, what's omega-6, what's omega-3? Well, it's actually very simple. What we're looking at here is this big mess of carbons and hydrogens and oxygens and so on, and this is a fatty acid chain. Now, there's two ends to this. You have the alpha and the omega. Okay, the alpha is the beginning, the omega is the end. How you determine whether a fatty acid is an omega-3, a 6, or a 9 is where this double bond is. Now, let me talk about double bonds for a second. Saturated fats have no double bonds. Saturated fats, as you can see here, all these hydrogens that go around all these carbons. In a saturated fat, it doesn't mean that it's gooey and drippy and oozy and greasy and slimy. It's not that. What a saturated fat simply means is that over here, this carbon has a hydrogen and this carbon has a hydrogen. So it means that every carbon has as many hydrogens as it can have, and that makes it saturated. Now, monounsaturated simply means there's one of these double bonds here. As you can bet, polyunsaturated, yes, means that there's two double bonds. Maybe there's another one down the road over here or down the road over here, but there's two or more sets of double bonds. Now, what makes it a 3, 6, or 9? Well, that's determined by how far this carbon is, this one with this double bond, is from the end. Okay, so once again, here's the end, here's the omega. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That makes it an omega-9 fatty acid. Now, not that that's all that important, not that you need to know this, but hey, you might want to go to a holiday party and just show off your new knowledge and explain to people why you know and how you know what an omega-9 fat is. Now, something that's very important to know about omega-9 fatty acids is that they're not essential. That means your body can actually make it. So, as we see over here, omega fatty acids are not essential, meaning they can be produced by the body. So your body can actually make these. Unlike 3s and 6s, which you have to take in through an external source. You have to take it in through your food. Your body can't make it, so it's essential that you get this in, whereas 9s you can make on your own, your body can make it. Also, omega-9s are the most abundant types of fats in many of your cells in the body. So this one's really a lot more prevalent than people realize. You never hear about it. We never talk about it very much, but they are very prevalent of the body. And like I said, they're non-essential. Now, there are multiple kinds of omega-9 fatty acids. Now, there's oleic acid. Now, oleic acid is probably the most important one. Oleic acid is primarily in olive oil, okay? So this is the one that really is the most important and has the most health benefits. There's a couple of others I want you to know about. This mead acid, well, this one's important for anti-inflammatory properties, but this one right here, this erucic acid, erucic, okay? Hard to pronounce that one there, but erucic acid, that's the one that's prevalent in things like canola oil. Now, that's not a very good oil. Go back and watch one of my previous videos I did. I'll put the link down below where you can watch the video I did on industrial oils or your vegetable oils and how dangerous they are. This one's the one that's really common in that, and this is the one that basically is from something called rapeseed. So a lot of people did not like the term rapeseed, so what they then did is to convert it into canola oil, which means Canadian oil, and that's really where the term comes from. But this nirvanic acid, I thought that was pretty interesting. Nirvanic acid really has a lot to do with brain function, and this is in salmons and nuts and things like that. But that's another important one. But the two main ones I wanted you to know about is the oleic and the uricic acid. Those are the main ones that I wanted you to be aware of today. Now, what can omega-9s do? What are their benefits? Well, it can really help a lot with cholesterol. In an article published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, they found this. In a large study that had high monounsaturated fat diets could reduce plasma triglycerides by 19%, and the bad. Now, it's very important you understand, LDL cholesterol isn't bad, and I did a video on that too. I'll put the link down below for that. However, what's important to understand about the bad part of cholesterol is when you take LDL cholesterol and you make the particles too small. That's the problem, when you get these VLDL particles. So it's not just the fact that it's LDL. LDL doesn't make it bad. It needs to be VLDL, which means the particles are too small. Anyway, what this does is can actually decrease the patient's VLDL cholesterol by 22% of the patients with diabetes. So very, very important. It can help with triglycerides, which are very dangerous too, but it could also help reduce the amount of VLDL cholesterol, which is extremely important because that's the one that's linked to atherosclerosis, plaquing in the arteries, heart disease, things like that. Not only that, another study also written up in Diabetes, the Journal of Diabetes, they found this. Feeding mice diets high in monounsaturated fat improved insulin sensitivity by decreasing inflammation. That's a really important thing because we all find that a lot of times now, because of our standard American diet or sad American diet, many of you who follow my channel have heard me say this. We talk about the fact that this causes a lot of inflammation in the body and leads to a lot of insulin resistance. Not only that, the study also showed that when it was tested on humans, they ate high monounsaturated fat diets, had less inflammation and better insulin sensitivity than those who ate diets high in saturated fat. So like I said, not only did it work in mice, it also worked in humans where it was able to reduce the inflammation, reduce insulin resistance, which is key markers that we're seeing today when it comes to chronic disease, especially diseases like diabetes. So now what are your best sources of omega-9 fatty acids? Well, those are going to be the ones that are richest in oleic acid. So olive oil is tops. Olive oil, 83% oleic acid. And get a chance, check out the video I did on olive oil. I did a really nice video where I talked about olive oil and how it prevents heart disease and how good it is for the heart. This thing is a rock star when it comes to preventing heart disease. Cashew oil, 73%. Almond oil, 70%, and avocado oil, 60%. And these you can incorporate very, very easily into your diet. I use olive oil pretty much on everything. If you could use a tablespoon or two of olive oil every day, you are going to be set. You're going to be really, really good. You can cook with it. Just make sure you don't go above, say, about 110 degrees. Anytime you see olive oil smoking, it's not good anymore. It went rancid, so you don't want to oxidize it. A good oil to cook with is going to be things like avocado oil. Avocado oil has a much higher smoking point. It's about 460 degrees, so you can cook with that one a lot easier. In fact, if I cook things on the grill, I'll typically put avocado oil on it so that way it conducts heat much, much better. Macadamia nut oil, also 60% oleic acid. Now, as you can imagine, the nuts here are a little bit lower in percentage. Why? Because they're not as concentrated as the oils. The oils are a lot more, of course, concentrated. And you can add these in any way, whether you just eat them raw, whether you have them in a salad, whether you have them as a snack. You could, add them to salads, like I was saying. So really, lots of different ways you can incorporate all these healthy oils and nuts to get your share of omega-9 fatty acids. And once again, I hope this is great information for you. If so, make sure you like, you share, comment, and subscribe. This is Dr. Nick. I love and appreciate you. Once again, watch out for the other 2 videos coming down the pike soon on omega-6 and omega-3s. So anyway, God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.